the tally, but everybody has today. Everybody got points. It's just Falcon got the most.
Yeah, of course.
Cool with me. Cool with me.
Congrats to Falcon.
Sweet.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir,
man.
yes, sir.
GG's.
Before we end,
Set
you have to
that again.
tally up some XP. I think, man. We had like at least.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Several
level up
encounters.
too, honestly, because I've been looking at my skills. I've been actually doing some pretty undercover stuff over here on old Tengru, looking up common magical items wish lists.
Because I don't think you gave us XP for the air elemental battle, and then this one just tonight, if I'm mistaken. Someone correct me if
Definitely.
I'm mistaken.
Maybe
I mean,
he has.
also you've been busy, so
Yep,
it is
don't
what
worry
it
about
is.
your I've been adding your XP for you guys just so I don't have to waste time during
Oh,
in-game
perfect.
to add it.
That makes
I've been
sense.
keeping you guys all pretty much uniform now because I thought about it, and it's kind of silly to have certain people level up at certain times because I just don't want to have to deal with like adding different hit points at different points in the game or any of that. So I'm just keeping you guys pretty much uniform. Like I said, I've been adding all the XP to you guys for you, so don't worry too much about your XP
Okay.
from
I
this
just want to
point
get to
on.
level 7, bro. That's all
Me
I
too.
want.
You guys are still quite far off,
Yeah, I know,
but
I
who
know.
knows? You still got like 10,000 XP to get at least, and like yeah.
I just want my level 4 spell.
I'll tell you right now, you guys gained a lot from that demon you guys killed. Let me just look it up. So that demon itself had 10,000 XP. So divvy it up. You guys gained over 1,000 XP each from
Sick.
just that one
Hey.
fight. If you run from fights, you don't gain XP from it. So
Makes
just keep
sense.
that in mind.
Mhm.
But sometimes you do need to run from fights. So
Of course.
also keep that in mind.
Right.
You also gain XP from completing tasks, for doing things in villages, and certain things I add extra XP for. But I don't want you guys to really worry too much about XP. You'll gain levels when you gain levels, and I've definitely been on top of your XP. I'm not forgetting anything.
I wasn't
I
saying
did.
that you are.
No, okay. I just don't want you guys to really like necessarily have to worry about it too much.
It's just more so I want more spells. More spells to cast.
I get it.
I'm
But it
greedy.
comes. It comes in time. Yep. So, okay, you want me to do it right now? That's fine. I can do
No,
it
no,
right
no,
now.
no, 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 no. You don't have to.
What's
It's mad
10,000
late.
divided by
It's
8?
mad
Yeah.
late.
Yeah. No. Don't you like the
So you
piece?
all gained 1,250 XP from that fight. So if you guys
1,200.
add that to your thing, you can go ahead and do that.
1,200.
All right, I'm heading off then.
All right, buddy.
All right, bro.
Good game.
Take it easy, man.
For
Good
coming
games.
out.
GG's.
You said 1250?
1250. Yep. And I need to add your the elemental fight XP. I haven't added that yet either. Oh, they were. Why isn't it showing? Air elemental was one of them.
Oh, so are we doing this manually?
Yep.
Well, I just did.
I
I'm at
just did too.
16,780.
Me too.
And then you gain another 450 for the elemental fight, so you can go ahead and add another 450.
What's
No,
450
it's
plus
17,
780?
20, 30.
Okay, 17, 20, 30.
Sorry?
17, 20, 30. Because that's where we're all the
I'm
same.
at 17,020, 230. That's where my XP.
You had the same experience points I did, so I'm just
How
adding
much
that.
was it? It was
I was at 1530
1,250
before.
450.
I was at 15,530, sorry, and then I got we got what? 1700
Yep,
XP
you
just now?
Yep, you're right. 17,230. That's what you guys should all be at.
Looking up Hat of Wizardry.
Come on, level 7 spells. Come on, level 4 spells.
I'm looking
So
up.
you're
Almost there.
almost
Almost
halfway
there.
to level 7, which is when
Almost
you'll
there.
gain a level 4 spell, right? Which will, and you already have one, so you'll
I
gain
know.
2. So you'll have
I got another one.
polymorph, which is a pretty damn good spell, and you'll gain whatever one.
What I'm waiting for. But yeah, good games, guys. It was fun.
Yes, it was.
Same time next week or regular time? I'm okay with the 7 o'clock start, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
if
the 7.
everybody's
I think Mar just let himself doze off, so that's why he's asleep.
Nah, well, you
I
saw
think
he was vaping.
Mar just
He was vaping, yo, so that probably took him, yo.
gets tired eventually. Anyway,
Nah,
'cause,
yo.
like,
Because
got
he
that
was
new vape, yo.
coherent. He was there.
I guess you didn't see in the he posted it in the
oh, nice.
in the
No, I didn't-
general chat. And I that thing is strong, yo.
Yeah.
So he probably greened out past
Is
that.
it a volcano or something?
Aeritzer Solo. It's kind of like a volcano.
Oh, he has an Air Riser solo.
He
That
just
makes
is-
sense.
He just without the big gas what do you call it? The bag. Same idea though.
He's on the Sun Rocks. Kids don't do drugs.
So yeah. If you're still recording. Or do it, kids. Who cares?
I mean, if it's
by the time
legal
you
where
hear
you
this, it'll
are
be
and you're a
20
legal age, of course.
I've been
By the
sucking
time
on
you hear
my
this, it'll be
solo.
2050, and drugs will be whatever. It'll all be just in you.
In your food. The drugs are already in your food, actually.
But yeah, okay. I'm gonna go.
This was fun, guys.
play some
Alright.
Call
I'm
of Duty or
gonna
something.
have some side conversation with you all because I'm looking up this common magical items wish list thing. I'm just looking up items I think that we should probably think about, like a wish list of just stuff that would be great.
Yep, that's always good to do.
Yeah, man, this is
That's what I was
fun.
doing in my other. That's what I was doing in my other campaign.
Ah,
That,
rogues of a
has now
feather.
ended, but yeah, it's definitely always good to think about stuff that you need or want.
That just really turn the because like you said, if we mention stuff, like if we do the research and we talk about it, you'll be
Yep.
more than inclined to put us in possessions of like, all right, well here's the material that you can use to make that thing you wanted.
Yep. Honestly, it helps me out a lot
Mhm.
because then I don't have to think about items to give you guys. If
Right.
you know what items you want and what things you want to do, it makes life easier for me.
Right. I'm taking a lot
100%.
of work out of your yeah, and if I type up this list and say, hey guys, this is a pretty good grocery list, just like not even from a rogue standpoint, just from like a thing standpoint, look these up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I'm gonna head out.
Okay, so we're done, guys. Everyone good?
Yeah, good night,
Yes, sir.
everybody.
Good night.
Good night,
Thanks for
people.
the fun
GGs.
times
See you
and
next week.
memories.
Adios.
Could I ask you something now that we're kind of finished up here?
Sure.
Sure.
So I was looking up. Remember how that the co-captain guy had that crazy heal because of his worship god or whatever? So my guy
Mhm.
was Sylvanas, and I've been like researching, and I can't figure out what that does for me.
Okay, so a thing you can do, I don't know if you have it yet or not. I don't think you do. Let me just check real quick. Hmm. Speak with dead. Mm. Okay, maybe you don't have it yet, but at some point you get a spell called Commune. Um, you have the potential to ask your deity 5 questions. So once you level up, you'll have more one-on-one with your deity. You also have channel divinity. Your channel divinity would be more so the thing that you're gaining from your deity. Um,
Okay.
There is a thing about channel divinity. I don't know if it states it here on this list, but it does on that link I sent you about the clerics and stuff. I'm pretty sure there's a feature with channel divinity where you basically can ask your god for help. It's a very small chance. You roll a d100, and if you roll lower than your cleric level, which right now is mad low and probably really fucking hard to do, but if you did roll a 1 to a 6, you would basically get help from your deity.
Okay.
I'd have to look that up because I'm not too sure, but I have been I listen to a lot of Critical Role, and that's where these voice actors play D&D, and there's two clerics in it. So if you ever want to kind of get a feel for the game, it's very fun and interesting way to kind of learn about D&D. Anyway, there are
Okay.
two clerics there, and they do have those abilities where they can talk to their god, and the god helps them out potentially, and all that kind of stuff. So you have that potential as well. Also, make sure you do your research about your god, because your god and Ken's god are wrathful gods. So if you step on their toes, there could be consequences. So
Yeah.
definitely read the list, read your cleric god, whatever you picked Sylvanas, right?
The tree guy, and that's
Um,
why I didn't want to denounce him.
yeah. So just don't forget that denouncing a god, once again, especially a wrathful god like you picked, might again have consequences. So just make sure you think everything you do in D&D has a consequence. If you roll poorly, there's a consequence. If you roll well, there's a good consequence, right? So like just before you do anything, which is like kind of why Chrono hurts you guys really bad, is that he doesn't think of his consequences before he does things, which is very detrimental to you guys.
Yeah.
So if you do something, just make sure you think of what can happen if you roll badly before you do it. Or like your god is a tree god, right? Or something like a forest god or something like that. So like just read up on your god again, and just make sure, because so the way that um the way that these holy classes work is, if you do something against what your god teaches, that's going to be an issue. If you do, so you basically it kind of sucks because you're forcing yourself to play a certain way. It's like, I have to
Okay.
act this way or my god's going to get mad, potentially, depending on your god. Some gods don't give a shit, some gods don't even pay attention to their followers, but some of them are very very judgmental. Like your god is a judgmental god. So you and Ken both have to live within the guidelines of your god or face the consequences. You both have wrathful gods that are very uptight and very strict.
So when I read through, like I read through the gods and stuff, and I'm reading through Sylvanas.
Yep.
How do I know? Because there's nothing here that says wrathful, or like how would I know that?
You'd have to
Hello?
do your research.
Sorry, you cut out there again. I'm just gonna close down Foundry so my computer can speed up a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
okay, so go ahead and can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Perfect.
Okay, wonderful. So just say what you were gonna say again.
Yeah, no, I was saying that I was looking up Sylvanas stuff, and there was nothing there that indicates to me, like that he's wrathful. Like it
Okay. Um,
like how do I determine that?
okay, so I'll send you where I'm reading from, and like we can read it together. I'll show you where it really said that. Okay, so I'm gonna send this to you here on Discord, and then where are you? Umizawa. So there you go. So let me know when you're on that page, and we can kind of go through it together. I'll show you where I kind of found that information. Are you there?
Oh, sorry. That's the one I was actually looking at. Funny enough.
So go down to worshippers. It's the second paragraph after the little ad thing there. His worshippers protected places of nature from the encroachment of civilization with vigor, and were implacable foes of industrious peoples. Non-worshippers also viewed the church unfavorably due to the tendency to disrupt expansion into woodland, sometimes with violence. Blah blah blah. Where are we here? Hold on. Where did it say that? At the very bottom, Sylvanas despised life-threatening impulses in anything. Maybe it's not in this one. Maybe I read it from a different one. Yeah, it's not here. Hold on, give me a sec. I definitely was reading.
Yeah,
Sylvanas.
I read a few like, and I was really trying to like research. I even read through a Reddit forum, and I can't find anything on what this does
Yeah.
for me.
It doesn't necessarily do anything for you. It's like worshiping a god, right? It's more so what you do for them and what you bring to the table. You are a worshiper, they are the god. You know what I mean? Um,
Okay.
it's more so like you chose that deity because you like what they bring to the table. You like I guess their lifestyle. That's why you kind of pick that god, because you can live that lifestyle. It's kind of the lifestyle you want to lead. Or you like, if I was if which I do believe in God. I wouldn't necessarily go around killing people and do things Satan might like, because I believe in God and I want to follow in his footsteps. I want to follow the 10 commandments. Do you know what I mean? So you choose a God to believe in and you follow their commandments and follow their way of life because you agree with it.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. So the thing about this is, in D&D, the gods are actual physical beings and they actually come down to the earth. So if you don't necessarily follow God's way of life, if you go and kill somebody, he doesn't necessarily kill you right then and there. But when you die and you go to heaven, that's when he judges you and all that kind of crap. But in the D&D world, those gods, when you do something against them, they will come down and do something to you. It's more hands-on. So I'm reading a thing here where it says, although wise and benevolent, the I don't know, paternalistic Sylvanas can be emotionally distant when it comes to the necessity of having a balance in nature, and wrathful towards those who threaten wild places. He appears an old, bearded, incredibly wise human male face floating in midair amongst trees or sprouting from the trunk of an especially old and large specimen. So there you go. When it comes to nature and the balance, he is wrathful towards those who threaten wild places. So if you went
That makes
if you went down and cut down a tree, he might be upset with that.
okay. I
I'll
see what
send
you're
you
saying.
I'll send you this link as well, so you can go ahead and read through that at some point. Yeah, so this one's a little bit more in depth. It's pretty similar, but there's quite a few more paragraphs in
See
that
what
one.
I think. What I think the part of my confusion was, part of the cleric stream. Like you pick your domains, right? Like the initial thing is domain selection, and then based off what you pick in the domain will dictate what kind of spells are available to you. So I thought that that was the same with the god level. When you pick your god, it's like, oh, you get these kind of things, and that's why
No,
I had trouble.
true, true. I see what you're saying. No, so picking a god is basically, when you pick life domain, you don't necessarily have to. I like to, because it makes sense. If you're a cleric, you're going to have a devotion to a god. In my other campaign, I was a cleric. My GM or my DM didn't even ask me what god I picked. So like, it all depends on the DM. I like to have
True.
a little bit more backstory to work off with you guys. So picking a certain god doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the skills that you gain from the life cleric itself.
It's more the flavor of how the game.
Correct.
Okay, I get totally what you're saying now. Okay.
So like if you were a life cleric, no matter what god you picked, you would get the same spells and same ability. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I can appreciate it now that it's now that I understand it in that context. It's like okay, I get it, and that's cool. I can appreciate that because like with magic cards, there's a lot of flavor behind it,
Of course.
and that goes part of like with your decision making as a dungeon master.
Mhm.
Does that make sense for that flavor of character, whatever, right?
Exactly, because like certain things can happen, if you stray, or certain things might happen if you stay true. Like if the more you stay true to that character and that background and that history, the more benefits that you will get. I just use it kind of as like a flavor, like you were saying. But it adds excitement for me too, because like I basically am creating this world for you guys to play in, and it just makes it more fun for me because I am one of those people that like to read that lore stuff.
Yeah.
And the more you guys have, the more I can add to the game as well, right? Like George has already been visited by a deity. Ken already got visited by a deity, and things happened, right? Like
Yeah,
Ken,
mine was pretty nuts.
Ken's was good and bad. He can now basically see in at all times within a certain range. Like if it was dark as all hell and magical darkness, he can see. He can feel people around him and sense that. But he's also blind past that point where you guys could maybe see 100, 200 feet out. He can't. But he is
Yeah.
also superior vision close range.
The encounter with the deity was pretty trippy too. It was quite the experience.
Yeah, that's when you went off by yourself, yeah, in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
That's
you
funny.
if you want me to read it, I can read it to you. So if you like, if Ken will allow me to, I can read it to you guys if you want. If Ken wants, sorry.
You can go ahead because I think they are more confused than
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Let me just find it. Okay. So I'll just read it to you guys if you're interested.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Ken. I'm talking to Ken here. As you sleep, you thrash from side to side, and yet your sleep holds. You see in a dream a giant grizzly bear with pure white eyes looking down on you. You can feel you can feel the air of its breath across your feathers. You look down and see a stump where its paw should be. Your inspection is interrupted. Falcon, stay true to my teachings as you have, and most importantly, stay true to yourself. Do not linger in the past, for this is the path to darkness. I have spared you because your death would have been a grave injustice, but payment must be made. And then I asked Ken, how do you respond?
Wow. No pressure.
Yeah, I don't, I think he agreed, if what I recall. He said
Yeah,
yes.
I'm trying to remember what I said. It was an agreement of some kind of just like being in awe and like yes.
I do have it. I have it recorded, so I could look it up at some point. But I'm pretty sure you just said that. Yeah, something like that. You're like, I'm in awe, and I agree that payment must be made. So I was like, okay, you are lifted slowly from the ground, and above you, a sea of stars. You stare in amazement. And then I asked him, do you fight it? He said no. Okay. You rise higher and faster until you are amongst the stars, traveling through stars, planets, nebulas, black holes, all with no resistance and seemingly no matter. Faster and faster, the lights now a streaking blur across your vision until all you can see is white. And that is when he woke. You wake up
Nice.
before anyone else does. Everything is black. The first thing you notice is that you can hear the heartbeats of the seven sleeping around you, the vibrations giving away their secrets. There are lichens having a quiet conversation near you, and there is no light in the chamber, and yet you can see them. You can feel the echo of their voices. You want to be alone, so you make your way towards the entrance when something behind you drops. It is so loud that you try to cover your ears, but when you reach up, something terrible dawns on you. So you reach out with your left hand towards the right and feel nothing is there. Just a stump where your hand used to be. No blood. Your head starts spinning. You stumble your way out of the tunnels and perch up on a stump of a tree. You sit alone to clear your mind. And that is where we rejoin the group that time.
Wow.
Yeah. So that
So
was his first encounter with Tyr.
so what provoked that encounter? I'm curious.
Okay, so what had happened was I don't think you guys were there that day, but were they there for the shambling mound? No, I don't think you guys were there.
No, I don't think so.
The river thing, no.
Yeah. So what happened was they came upon a pond by the end of that session, pretty much, and there was a shiny gem. So Ken went to go over there, and then they told George to check it out. So he went to, and then Andre went to push him in. And so they rolled a strength check versus acrobatics check, and Andre failed. So he missed, slid into the water himself, and these 3 shambling mounds came up, which are these big, very lush green vine creatures, pretty like a kind of like a swamp thing type creature, and engulfed them. It engulfed George, Falcon, and Issachar. They all got engulfed by these things. So because I was playing your character, I was playing Chrono's character, and I was playing Artemisia's character that day. So it was like I was playing a lot of people, so it was kind of like a little confuddled and like hard to keep track of. So basically, when Ken went into this creature, he started taking damage. He ended up getting knocked out. He went unconscious. So this was when he would have making death saving throws. So I was using your character to heal him, but I wasn't supposed to do that because your character, your heals are either touch or by sight. Because I couldn't touch him or see him, I wouldn't have been able to heal him using your character. So Ken would have died. Ken's character would have officially been dead.
Wow.
So I had to retcon it that his god saved him by taking his sight and his right hand.
I see.
So his god came down and saved him, basically. Because I fucked up, I had to kind of do that.
I see. And that provoked the encounter in the city, I guess?
Sorry, which encounter in the city?
No, sorry, not the encounter. The experience with the god?
Yes.
Interesting.
So I had messaged Ken that week, and I was like, Ken, I kind of fucked up. Would you mind if I kind of fixed it by doing this? And he agreed. He said it was okay, so I just went ahead and did that.
So
yeah, he told me to like act groggy and stuff because I just died a bunch of times. So that session, I was kind of like out of it and not really being able to answer people well, and
yeah.
So assuming like that doesn't happen, how would someone naturally reach the point where they encounter their god?
It could be multitudes of ways. If you would like that, I can start thinking of things things that can happen to speak with your god. But for the most part, I kind of do it on a case-to-case basis where I feel like it would benefit the narrative of the story.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, you don't necessarily have anything right now that would like kind of justify me bringing your god into the story quite yet. If you were to burn down a whole forest, you better believe your god's coming down.
Yeah.
But like other than that, like once you get commune, like if you want to look at your cleric spell list, let me just look at that real quick. I can just pull that up 2 seconds.
Anyway, guys, have a good night. Peace out.
Brother.
Peace, man.
Take it easy, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I appreciate you kind of like having this conversation with me because it helps me. I think part of my initial struggle was I play a lot of video games, obviously, and
Mm.
when you play video games, your spells and your abilities are very, how should I put it, like systematic.
Yep.
And this, I mean, D&D has a system, obviously, but it's not so like video game systematic. Like it's like
Yeah. It's more like up to the DM.
flavor and reading lore and implementing that in the role playing.
It's like it's basically interactive storytelling, right? Like that's
Yeah.
basically what it is. It's choose your own adventure storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Make
I
it up.
think part of my struggle initially was I was treating it too much like, okay, I have a cleric with like this spell, that spell, this kind of like how I would play,
A
World
game,
of Warcraft or
right?
something, right?
Not a
Yeah.
tabletop.
So it's interesting to kind of have this conversation because I think
It
what I'll
better be
do
because we're recording it. It's
part of
going
what I'll
in.
do.
I'm not
Oh,
taking that out. That was 10, 15 minutes of a solid explanation after a good ass match. So these
I feel
kids
like
are
you need to separate this section of the talk and like put this into a separate video where it's like
really
yeah, almost, yeah.
not necessarily part of the session, but like
just
a
take this
separate
out. Okay.
How to move from video games to D&D, right? Like
video.
Okay.
to change the framework of how you interpret the information because I put it in my framework because I'm used to video games, but it doesn't work that way, right?
I had to
Yeah,
get out of
not
that. Actually, that's an interesting conversation you're having with GK because that we had that talk actually after like the first like after session 1 or 2, after
yeah.
session or 0. It's like
So I
yeah.
just sent you. Sorry, go ahead.
No. You. I just that was my point. That was my point. Go ahead, bro.
No, I just Umizawa or sorry Omar. I just sent you the commune spell. It's a 5th level spell, so you might not necessarily get that till like maybe level 8 or 9.
Hmm.
But I just sent that to you so you can kind of look what that entails with talking to your deity and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
If you would like to talk to him before that, I'll go ahead and give you free reign. Not free reign, but like I will give you some creative control. So think about that over the next couple weeks, and you can let me know how you want to kind of either make this happen or maybe the conversation you would like to have. Just give me something that I can wrap my brain around and kind of work off of,
Yeah.
and we can always set something up.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I think part of what I'll do is I think part of my challenge uniquely this comes down to myself is
Yeah,
I don't read a lot.
true.
I interpret information through videos more so.
Okay.
So it's hard for me to like read like a wiki page of
Yeah.
like shit, right? Like I don't absorb the information. So what I'll do is I'll actually watch some YouTube videos on like
Okay.
cleric guides and stuff like that and try to kind of wrap my head around it that way. I think it might be helpful.
Also, like I said, if you do like that, you could also maybe watch an episode or two of maybe Critical Role. Like if you ever had the time, they are a little bit lengthy and they can get a little bit boring, but they do sometimes have some useful information. If you ever fast forward to like a battle or something, the campaign 2, there's 2 campaigns and there's a lot of fucking episodes. So I don't expect anybody to like be as gung ho as I am about this. But Critical Role campaign 2, you can listen on Spotify. They do have the thing. They have 2 clerics in campaign 2. If you get past like just like pick a random episode, maybe like I don't know, a pirate's life for me is campaign 2 episode 41, and that would be something like what we're kind of dealing with now where we're on a ship. um,
Okay.
so maybe that could be helpful to you to see how other people play their clerics.
Yeah, no, that would be. I like
And
to follow by example in a sense.
yeah, and they are voice actors as well, so everybody in Critical Role uses a voice.
Are those the guys? Because I remember watching a YouTube uh, channel on D&D. Are
Mhm.
those the guys that had Vin Diesel on their channel?
Yes, Matt Mercer is their
Yes.
GM. Their DM.
Okay.
Yeah. They had Vin Diesel. They've had a bunch. They had Stephen Colbert on one of them.
Yeah, no, they're good. I like them.
Yeah, that's who I've been kind of. Matt Mercer's kind of given me a lot of lead by example kind of thing, and I try my best to kind of DM like him. Like a lot of homebrew stuff, a lot this like his world is completely made up as mine is too. I never went and got a bunch of D&D books and learned like here's how you do your campaign. No, like I've basically just kind of something pops in my head and I'll go with it, which is a lot easier for me than
Yeah.
picking up a book and like okay, so this is their first encounter, then this is going to happen. Like that would be boring as hell for me.
I think almost like I think the creators of D&D, and I could be wrong, but I think they intended the game to be played that way. The books are there just to kind of provide a guidance, but
Yes.
you're free to do what you want, right?
Yep, 100%, right? And that's why I like homebrewing a lot of items, like
Moonlit Dagger.
George's. Well, not the Moonlit Dagger, but Pain.
Oh.
The Moonlit Dagger is straight from D&D, but
Oh, okay.
Pain is not. A lot of other items too. I can't think off the top of my head, but oh, sorry. Mars Scimitar. That's a homebrewed item. Ken's Falcon Punch and Falcon Knees. Those are homebrewed items. I basically took your Javelin of Lightning. So I took the same amount of damage and stuff and kind of just reflavored it to be a Falcon Punch as opposed to a Javelin of Lightning.
Nice.
So stuff like that. But yeah, it's been an adventure for me to just even think of this stuff. Like you should see my phone's notes, man. Like I could legit write a novel, and I actually have thought about it. I've thought about writing this all down one day into like a book. I think it'd be fun to like the adventures of the Decepticles.
We're chronicling it right now.
So, but
No,
looking forward to that one.
Thanks
published.
for taking the time to explain all that.
no
It's
worries.
been a learning experience, and I like learning new mechanics.
You
And
seem
systems
jazzed
and-
more. Yeah, way more
I
involved.
don't know. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah, man, it's been
sure.
it's been real for sure.
Got a good
Is there
GM.
anything else you needed help with? Like I'm here right now, so
We're still rolling.
either
No.
of you.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, I guess it's gonna take forever. So should we? Can you reveal the other dagger's twin's name? Or do you wanna
Not
save
out of
that?
game, my friend?
Hmm?
You could ask in game about it, but not out of game.
Oh, okay.
I don't necessarily want to give up information like that, you know, like I want
Oh,
your
its name itself would be in for. Okay, that's interesting. That's already
well, it is a homebrewed item,
true.
but like I don't want to because if so the name technically has the abilities that it is giving. So if I gave you the name, you could basically infer what the dagger could do. So I don't really
Right, and
wanna-
then my interest would like drop because it's like, oh, it's just that. It's like, but no, I want the twins, right? So, but yeah, no, it's that, like I wanted to see if like that if it was okay of a thing to ask, and it's like, okay,
That's
you
all
went to
good. It's
yeah.
always a free question,
Mhm.
right? You
No, but
can
it
you're
excites me more to know what the name of to know what the dagger is. I want to
Yeah.
know what its name. It's like agony.
then you're gonna have to search for it, my friend.
Hmm.
But right now, you're always focus what's ahead of you. You are now crash landed on a
Island.
island. You have no way of escaping at the moment because your ship is kind of wrecked.
Gilligan's.
So
Martin Crusoe.
Interesting.
focus on that because you have no way to get back to Endsmith right now anyway.
It's true. All right, up and over and forward.
So are
Um,
we doing next week or 2 weeks?
I'd like to just keep
Double
going.
check. Wait.
I don't
Yeah.
know when
I like the weekly stuff.
I don't know when Corona is going to be done and over with, and I don't necessarily feel like this might survive after people can go to bars and do all that stuff.
Don't
on the
say
weekend.
that. We'll just meet up at those or there for like we'll just go to places to
I'd
do
hope
it.
so.
Hmm.
I'd hope so, but I don't want to. I don't want to
Say
say it will when it might not. So
It might be harder because there will be other things to do again, yes. But I
or
mean,
we have to change to like a during the week kind of thing,
or just
or like
make really super long session, like 5 to 10 hour sessions, like on the days that we can go.
we're not doing that.
or
That makes it way too taxing for me
right,
personally, because then I have to plan 5 or 6 hours of material that could potentially that you're not going to even do.
true.
Yeah.
You know, like I can mitigate like 3 or 4 different things or 7 different things that you can do within 3 hours, but think about me trying to do 7 different things that you can do in 6
All
hours.
the different possibilities.
Yeah,
True
it's
enough.
just way too much to think about. So
That makes sense. I like the weekly things. I don't know. I mean,
I like them too,
I don't go to bars anyway, so that doesn't really matter.
only
fair
for
enough.
wings.
Oh yeah, I miss getting some wings though. That's for sure.
Hmm.
And ordering wings from a bar is not the same. Like ordering it to your house,
It's
they get
true.
all
Yeah,
crispy.
or ordering it to go. It's not the
Yeah.
same as like sitting down and like.
Well, I hope it survives because I've definitely been having a lot of fun. Like
I
I'm a writer,
have a sneaking
and
suspicion that we're gonna hang on to this. And I just heard terrible news about a hospital having a breakout of COVID here in the city. So prayers for
sorry,
them. Yeah, like
which hospital?
I'm not sure. It's a prolific YouTuber who tweeted like, "Oh gosh, damn it, guys, pray for me." I just because he wasn't there for that. He was getting a surgery done, but now there's a whole situation of people. So he's like, people are praying for him, like, or just for people in general, not to get sick or get sicker, right?
Yeah,
So it's like I
yeah.
don't even know a hospital. I didn't see anything on CP24 or nothing. So I'm just like, no, I don't see it on the twits. I don't know what's
That's
going on.
surprising that you wouldn't see that
And
online.
I think if that's not a bad thing because I think it might filter out people that aren't as invested, right? So
Ontario could see nearly 10,000 COVID cases a day if variant spreads. Toronto Star from this afternoon.
I think we started off with a large number. Like now that we go through the cycles,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like a group of like 4 to 6 would be the ideal range.
I hope so, bro.
Of what?
Like in terms of party members, not included in the DM. Like having like
Oh, you're
5 to 6 people.
D&D. Yeah, well, ideally, but it's difficult, right? Because we have 8. Like I know it's gonna slow down the game a little bit, and it is a
Yeah.
lot of people. You're right, but it's like I had so originally I had the 4 people. I had George, Mark, Aaron, and Andre, right? And then I was just it was like I was talking to them, and then Ken messaged me. So I was like, okay, Ken, like would I know Ken's like a little bit of a nerd too, so I'm like, Ken, would you be interested in this maybe? And then I was like, why don't you ask Omar? And then he asked you, and then you're like, yeah, my girlfriend and my buddy Joe will be interested, and that's like, boom, there was another 4 right there, right? So it's like I didn't necessarily plan on having 8 people, but
True.
I don't necessarily think it's horrible.
No, it's not
hard.
horrible.
It's hard for sure.
If people can't
It's good
show,
for
it's easy
people
to
to
show.
experience it though, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do think it bugs certain people at certain times. And I definitely I can feel it too. Like I do get frustrated from time to time, but it's definitely helping with patience. And I felt like this session went swimmingly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this
Like,
one was one of the smoother ones.
It wasn't
yeah.
like it was bad last time when Chrono was here anyway. Like it's just
No,
like, but it like
no,
he probably had something to do like last minute because it's COVID.
that's all right. It
Mm-hmm.
happens, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are gonna. That's another thing where I like doing the weeklies, because if we did bi-weeklies, or if I waited for everybody to be in every session, think about, we would have missed like 4 or 5 sessions already.
Right, and we're already on
So
episode. This is 9. This is episode 9.
yeah. So like,
Yeah.
and we missed one. We didn't tape the first episode, so technically 10.
True enough.
So, you know, that
I
would
haven't
be, we would have
uploaded
missed
last
like
week's yet.
five sessions already. So like I do like just kind of continuing on,
Mm-hmm.
because like what are you really missing? Like we can catch you up on that, no problem. You
Right.
got possessed, you got knocked out.
Right.
The team thinks you're
We're
possessed,
grinding.
they tied you up. You know, it's quick. It's like a
Right.
5-minute kind of catch up, and then we
Mhm.
can continue on.
Like I'm in Pokemon right now, guys, in Vermilion City on episode 31. So,
So there you go.
right? Like
So
Vermilion
it's nice
City,
to just kind of continue on,
right?
with or without people. Like people are gonna miss shit. I understand that, and especially once COVID's over, like people are gonna miss probably more.
Right.
And like Omar said, it might even weed out some of the people not as interested,
Yeah.
and the campaign might actually lose some people, which will work into the narrative, of course. Like I could just be like, oh, this person decided he met a girl or he met a guy, and they went to
Mhm.
go have kids, and they
Mhm.
want to he's settling down, and
Mhm.
he could still be in he could that person could still be in
The
the
world,
world.
right?
And if they ever decide to come back for a game or two, they like easy to work them back in.
Right. Come back out of adventuring.
That sounds cool.
Open up the cellar door, much like God of War. Go get those chaos blades. Wrap them
Yeah.
around your arms
So,
again. It's like, are you
so that's what we work
Kratos?
about.
I stopped at the Angel Queen. I couldn't get past the Valkyrie Queen.
Oh, so is that before or after you get the blades back?
This is like end game, like when you're collecting all the end game stuff.
Really, the new? Oh wow, okay. I didn't even know there was secret bosses in the new game. But this was a good talk, guys. This was a really good show.
Yeah, no, it was good. I thank you for all the information. Like I said, I kind of want to get more into it, and
You
as
sound like
time
it.
passes, we can get like a
Your Luffy
more like
showing.
solid group going, where we can start doing some like really cool shit, right?
Well, once we have enough ability
Like
where we
what?
can split up and like
Well,
not be scared and then rejoin and be like, guys, I
yeah,
got you this. It's like, guys, check it out. Like, right? It's like, oh, we got
well,
some
and just like
dough.
any other role playing game, when you have a solid group of people that understand the game well and that are committed, like you can do better things, right, in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair enough.
Especially as we get more facilities open up to us, right? Because it's like, Endsmith is our home base. Then we have a ship. Once we have, once New House becomes like a new haven for us, like, and we can travel between that and Endsmith without the boat, and then we can go over to another city before. Like that's why I was saying before about like why we didn't go to the biggest city right away, because there's a good chance that it's going to be as adventurous as what Endsmith has been bringing us for these first couple episodes. So maybe we should probably go to someplace else like New House and then somewhere else, or back to Endsmith and then do some stuff in Endsmith again, and then head out again to somewhere else and then find out more information about some of the guys that was on the lists even, and see if they even any of them are around, or any if their activities are being known.
Yeah.
Might get attacked by the assassins again. Assassin who like appears like a sub boss like constantly, like to like it's like I have arrived yet again. It's like, oh my god,
You already
Sarah,
got it by an assassin already.
right?
But like a lot of the game, you guys can kind of influence as well, right? There's a lot of things that you guys might not have done, like the fighting pits. That's something you guys can
Right,
do.
right. Yeah, we
There's,
haven't
there's
even done
there's
that yet.
gambling. There's
Right,
gambling you guys can do. There's
right,
like little side quests. So like
right.
there's also different planes of existence.
And we haven't
There's
even
there's
gotten
the
to an Adventures
abyssal
Guild.
plane. There's the plane
Mhm.
of air. There's the plane of water, plane of
Mhm.
earth, plane of fire.
Right,
There's pandemonium, which is basically hell. Like
right,
there's a lot of different places you guys can eventually go. Problem is, you guys are all very new to the game,
right.
and I'm trying to teach you guys the game through kind of, it's going to be a little bit more easygoing kind of stuff at the beginning till you guys really know your characters.
I didn't
You
know
guys don't
Pandem.
necessarily know what your characters can do.
Right.
You are starting to finally kind of get it. The turns are going quicker. You are kind of getting there. I'd say maybe another 10, maybe 5 or 10 more sessions. You guys will know exactly what your characters can do, and you might be able to do stuff. Like technically right now, you guys aren't even buffing yourselves at all. I haven't seen you guys buff yourselves once.
I don't
So
have any
like
buffs yet.
no, but people do.
Right.
So like
Yeah, like aid and stuff.
Yeah, there's so many buffs you guys have. Until you guys are buffing yourselves, you guys are never gonna be able to face angels, devils, like ancient dragons. There's so many crazy monsters there, but I can't put them against you guys because you guys just punch and kick things still.
Yeah, we can
Like
only do that
it's
right now
nothing.
because we have to, like you said, we have to do some more venturing. We need to get more gold. We need to get more materials. We need to get more items. We need to meet more people. We need to.
You guys have so many items and so many abilities right now. It's not even about the items and abilities. It's just
Oh,
it's learning your characters.
oh
And
wow.
that will come. And that will come. And
Okay.
I'm really happy with how things have been going.
Mhm.
And you guys have been doing great.
Mhm.
It's just, your little things that you're missing that will come with time.
Right.
You can't rush it. It's all trial and error and practice
Mhm.
and experimentation.
Right. All very true.
But like, yeah. So like when you come up against a big ass boss, you didn't necessarily need to do anything against this boss. It almost killed two of you, which can happen, whatever.
Right.
But certain things like
He feared
certain
us.
creatures can like look at Lord Ensmith. He charmed Mark for the whole fight, and
Right.
and Mar was basically a blood bag for him, just healing him.
Right.
Certain things like that you can prepare for. You could give your whole team like +4 to ability checks. So if Mar went to roll a wisdom check so he wasn't charmed, he could roll that extra D4.
Right.
These are little buffs that will help you guys in battle.
It's true.
If you guys just go into battle without buffing yourselves, you're always going to constantly be at a disadvantage because these big bosses, they have things like I'm going to enthrall you, I'm going to charm you, I'm going to knock you
Mhm.
unconscious with one hit if you
Mhm.
don't pass this ability check. A
Right.
lot of these bosses are like do this ability check or this happens.
Right.
So
It's true.
like that's where the buffing will come into play.
Yeah, and I think part of that is knowing before, like, getting the signs of what occurs before an engagement, because once you're in the
Exactly.
engagement, you can't use your turns to buff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can, but it's
But for
not.
the fact that I didn't recognize or think that the storm and you said they were fighting. They were not colliding. You said a c word, clashing. They were clashing. They weren't
Yes.
they weren't just like, oh yeah, there's a storm clearly happening. No, you're saying two forces of nature are fighting in a magical tabletop make your own adventure game. These are two
Exactly.
element, like that was the cue to know, like, this is not a
Yep.
normal storm. Perception check, buff, get ready. Like, this could be
Yep.
enemies, not necessarily forces of nature. And
Exactly.
and
And
they
those
were
and those
worse
are
than
the
that.
kind
They
of
were
wording.
sentient forces of nature.
And I feel like a lot of you guys kind of glaze over as I'm monologuing, which I don't know how to get away from. Like it's hard. Like I need to do some monologuing sometimes because I'm trying to describe something you guys can't necessarily see. You
Right.
guys kind of have to imagine it. And I try to go slow at certain times and pause to give you guys time to talk while I'm monologuing.
Mhm.
So like if you hear me like up ahead something 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 and then I pause, I'm kind of seeing if you guys are going to
React.
say anything. And
React.
if you guys don't say anything after like 10 seconds of me not talking, I just continue talking.
Right. And that's fine. That
No,
makes
like
sense.
there's only so much I can do.
Of
I'm not going to be
course.
like, hey guys, do you want to do anything before this happens?
So I will say I have picked up on those signs. The
Yeah.
problem is I don't know what I
What?
should be doing.
Right.
Yeah, no, I get that, and that's what I mean. Like, it'll come when you learn your character a bit more,
Mhm.
and as we play.
Close.
So that's why,
Close. We're having close shaves now, like early gamers would have close shaves anyway. Like that's the
yeah,
whole point of early game. Like you can, like, if you go in
Yeah.
the wrong direction simply because you chose, like, on a world map, like this way,
yeah,
all of a sudden you're fighting level 50s and you're wondering, and you're like, why? This is why people
yeah,
said, like, that's why making games where enemies appear on the overworld became so huge because kids or young people were like, well, how was I supposed to know? It was like, well, no, the monsters there are your barrier. Like they won't just put like a wall; they'll put monsters there to keep you out or away from that area, so you don't get
Yep.
tripped up. But in this case, that we had, like you were saying, it's not about that. We have plenty of arsenal on our side. It's just being well aware enough about who our enemies can be, what we like, and understanding those cues. And I'm noticing that Omar's and like everyone's becoming more not paranoid, more prepared, more mentally ready to handle a challenge.
Yep, for sure. And I feel bad sometimes, like people are trying to use their abilities, but they might not necessarily know what their abilities can
Right.
really do, or they read it wrong.
Yeah, like
Like
Aaron
today
and
when
mhm,
today when Mar went to use some of his runes, and I'm like, well, it's not all dexterity checks; it's for a stealth check. I don't want people to get upset because I don't want people thinking I'm shutting you down
no,
because I'm not. I'm just
mhm,
trying to follow the rules that are like
Yeah,
written out
and
right.
there.
that's fair. That's your job, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you let us do whatever we want, that's why I ask questions sometimes just to see, or I push just to see, just for you to rebuff me and say, nope, that is not how it works. It's like, okay, good, okay, now I understand. And and I do that to myself to let everyone know that it's okay to ask those questions and get rebuffed because or be told like, no, that's not exactly how it works. This is like, and it's important actually to know how it actually works. And then even if, and I'm not shy to ask, like, can I get a scenario about how I should be using this then? And you'll do that. You'll take that 5 minutes, or you'll say, or you'll take us like, or we'll do what we're doing now. We'll have a conversation before or after next session.
I think that actually would be helpful to some of those that are new, right? To kind of converse these things out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why, yeah, like even having like a 5-10, like coming in 5-10 minutes before the session to have a conversation, catch up and have a conversation about like what we're feeling. Not necessarily strategize about how the game's playing out because that's meting, but I mean
Yeah.
talking about like this kind of stuff, mechanics. Uh,
Honestly,
mhm,
honestly, you guys could go ahead and talk about the game out of game in the general chat. If you guys think of something during the week,
mhm.
go ahead
Post
because
it.
that will actually save time on you guys talking about it in game.
That's also
Like
true.
I'd rather you guys just do things in game, but you have a democracy and I get it and that's perfectly fine and that's how the game works. But if you guys ever think of things during the like your downtime or you're at work or you're on break or whatever and you're like, "Oh, like, oh, what do we have to do now? Well, we're going to have to do this, this and this." If you guys want to text each other or talk to each other outside of game and like think of things, that's 100% okay. Like, I'm not saying you guys can't do that. It's just I
Mhm.
don't me personally, I don't want to give you guys information out of game
Right.
about the in-game stuff,
Right.
but you guys are feel free to talk to each other about it if you decide to do that. You don't have to, but like whatever.
Mhm.
If you wanted to, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I will have to make a I will make an attempt to invite that behavior then. If someone
Yeah.
posts like, even yeah, I have like a list right now. Common magical items wish list.
Yeah,
Charlatan's die, boots of
or
false
things
tracks.
like, "Oh, guys, why do you think Chrono was possessed?" That could be a decent because like Mark was like, "All right, guys, like let's continue on with the game." See, it kind of slowed down the game for him, where the point where he's kind of shutting you guys down from talking about it because he would like to continue with the game.
Mhm.
So those are things like that might be beneficial to talk outside of game or through text. Like, "Hey guys, what do you think? Why do you think Chrono's possessed? What do you think we could do about it?" That kind of stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So, I'm not saying you have to.
No, but you are saying
It's
we have the
definitely,
option.
yeah, that's all. Like it's
Mhm.
a
I
possibility.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea to maybe meet up half hour before.
Yeah, or
Yep.
have a conversation during
I'm
when
always on here at least half an hour. Sometimes if I'm running late, 15 minutes before the game. But I'm always on Discord half an hour before, usually, and I have the server up.
yeah. Same.
So if you guys ever want to come early, like I'm gonna be on most likely.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are feel free to talk to each other as much as you want during that time, because most of that time I'm setting up things, getting everything ready for that session. So like I'm not necessarily going to be talking too much during that time, but like you guys are feel free to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like George is always on there early with me talking, Mar, Brutalitop sometimes. I think it's usually like George, Andre sign on first, and then like kind of trickles in from there.
Mm-hmm. Because people will notice that we're in the room, and then they'll be like, "Oh, people are in the room." Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we're always there about half an hour early. So if you ever want to come on early, we're there.
Oh, this episode was 5 hours. This part was
Nice.
probably at least another half hour.
This was an hour for sure because
Oh
we
wow.
stopped around 11.
Oh wow. So yeah, you're right. It is gonna be okay. I guess that's fine. I guess where should I put this though?
No, it's good, man. It's good. No,
Yeah.
we'll try to meet up next Saturday around 7, I guess.
Sounds good.
Yep, we can try again for 7 if everybody's okay with that, and it
Mhm.
worked out for everybody well. Then yeah, I
Mhm.
think it was better. We only lost Mar towards the end again,
Mhm.
but it was much less time this time than last time.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll try again for 7 next weekend then.
Awesome.
All right, boys.
All right.
All right, thanks for coming out.
Thanks, guys. Peace out. Good night.
Have a good weekend. Later.
GG's. Thanks everybody for watching Retrograde Wear, Dungeons and Dragons Journey of the Decepticles. Like, favorite, comment, subscribe, guys. If you like it, support the channel and my friends. See you later.